Hi.
Morning.
Morning.
Hello, Aditi. Good morning.
Good
I'm in
morning.
Goa.
You're in Goa.
Yeah, but I have time to. I have
How
all the
is
time
it?
in the world. It's it's cooler than Pune. It's hot in the sun, and as soon as you get in the shade, there is lovely cool breeze. So if you're on a scooter, it's wonderful. It's really nice and cool. And at night also, it's much cooler because the sea breeze comes. No,
Yeah. So you all
so
have
it's nice. But the
you've
sun.
been driving around on a scooter?
Yeah, what we do is we park the car and we hire a scooter, and then because the rush is now becoming too much, there's too much traffic. There's holiday. I mean, I don't know. There's no off season now in Goa, so it's chock a block with tourists,
That's true.
and the cars are big. Everybody wants a SUV on the road, and the roads are small. So the best thing is to take a scooter parking. Because we're trying to. We are in the process of selling our flat, so there's a lot of paperwork to be done. And in the offices, there's no parking, the registrar and all. So we just take the scooter and park it anywhere, and it's much simpler.
Hmm.
So are
So
there only three of us today and you?
I have no idea. We'll see how many people land up
I know
now.
Nita said she'll try and come, and somebody
Yeah.
else also said they'll be late. So that's okay, as long as
Hmm.
they're doing that.
Richa will be late.
Hmm.
Who else is there? Amulya and Alicia. They might join. Paru, I don't know. Okay. Never mind. Let me just put a message on the group. Okay, so today we're going to do a full face, but we're going to do it more like an exercise. So not to master how one should make a full face. So I'm going to share some images which are going to be distorted, and I want you to focus on the distortion in order to learn how to make the face. So the first three images are going to be turned upside down. So I don't want you to turn them right side up. You have to illustrate them upside down. And the second two images are high contrast images. So you see mostly dark and light. So I want you to just look at shapes in that. That's all. So the first part of making the illustration upside down is to achieve better objectivity when you are looking at faces. So what happens is, because we are attuned, or we are our brain is designed to recognize faces, or has evolved, let's say that's better, has evolved to recognize faces very acutely, much more than other objects around us. There is some kind of there's a baggage that comes with it, or that is the baggage when it comes to making portraits. We are too attached to faces, so we see things differently. We do not see an eye for an eye, or a nose for a nose, or just as a shape. Rather, we would see it as somebody's nose or somebody's eyes, and in all of that we try to recognize that face or place it somewhere or the other. Now, the moment you turn it upside down, because it is such an unusual way of looking at a face, we don't recognize faces easily, or even at all. Unless there's certain peculiarity like a mole or teeth or hair or accessories that you can recognize. Photographs turned upside down take us a while to even figure out who the person might be, however famous or well known to us that person might be. So we are going to make this sketch looking only at the shapes on the in the photograph. So don't be tempted to turn it upside down till the very end, because you will then cloud your judgment. And turning it right side up does not have any advantages. In fact, it has disadvantages. So I'm going to try this. Let's see. Now, usually when there's an in-person class, I can monitor this. And the online class, I haven't done this exercise before. So we're going to have
No,
to.
certainly won't turn it upside down. And that was the point of the challenge.
Yeah. So we're going to jump right into the upside down faces. And if you want, give me 5 minutes to demonstrate how to go about it.
Yeah.
And then you can begin yourself. Okay. So since we are just looking at shapes here, I want you to try and recreate those very shapes in the right place that you see them as. Okay, so don't make the picture too large, just make it about this small. That's not too small also, but not the whole page. And start off somewhere in the center, because this is so disorienting. You don't know how much space you might have to leave left or right. And as you're making the shapes, you don't even know how large your shapes are. So start somewhere in the center and start off with just making the shapes like we normally do, with just a rough line. And pay attention um, to the placement and the proportion and just the shape. So where is the shape when I make the right side, left side of this feature? And try to not look at it as a nose, but look at it as a maybe a C-shaped feature underneath this slightly tilted line. And what is the angle that is made between this part and this part? Just even that much is enough. You can shade as you go along if you feel like it, because shading will give you the right space, an estimate of the space that you need to leave behind. And for today's exercise, I think after you finish a certain amount, I shall permit you to use an eraser, but only after finishing about 10-15 minutes of this work. Because if you start in the beginning, you'll only be erasing. So don't succumb to that temptation. Now you'll notice features like these, lines over here, lines over here. And then the distance between this line and there's a little shape underneath the eye. And look at angles like these. What is the angle made by this corner, and then the corner of what's going to become the eyebrow? Okay, so just this is all there is to it. Now don't turn your picture right side up, not just the reference image. Tanushri, how are you doing? Okay, good, good, very nice.
And haven't turned it upside down. I've done some kind of a crooked face. Do you want to look at it the right side up?
No, 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 don't.
I'm not turning it, but I'll show it to you.
No, no, I will also see it upside down
Okay.
because I'm also only looking at that now. I don't want additional information or different
Okay.
information.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see it.
One sec. One sec.
Nice. Very good, very good. Just look at the profile.
Outline.
Yeah, the outline. I think it's become a little narrow.
Yeah.
See how that works.
I know if I looked at it the right way up, I'd know exactly what is wrong with it, but I'm not going to.
Let me see. Janita, okay. Janita, just look at the lines of the eyebrow. Okay, they become, I think you have landed up drawing eyebrows. They're not like that. So just look at the shape. So somewhere it seems as if your brain has decided that we are going to make them a certain shape. You could not have been seeing the shape like that. Do you notice it? So if you see from the eyes down, hopefully you're doing the first image, right? Okay. So if you see these lines come down
Yes.
to like 8 o'clock, so you should not have a curve over here like you're getting. Do you see that? They're almost straight and then they flatten somewhere here. So when you're shading this, remember to go from the center outward instead of giving an outside shape and then shading it inside. Like in this case now, for the lips, I'm going to shade the inside part and then I'm going to move outward. Because only from the inside to outside, then you start getting an idea of how far you should be shading. Hi, Amulya.
Hi, Aditi.
Okay, so I've shared these images on the group now. We have
Yeah.
to, don't turn the images right side up. We have to sketch them upside down.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought that was erroneously sent when you put them upside down.
No. So now just start off. It's not a very large image, as you can see, it's just about so much. And start from maybe the top, which would in this case be the chin and the lips. And just start like we normally do.
Okay.
Notice the shapes, look at the one shape after the other, and start placing them appropriately at the same distance apart. Don't look at it as a face, just look at it as shapes. That's the whole exercise.
Okay.
And after about
But
10
why
minutes,
upside down, Aditi?
yeah, I'll just explain.
Why upside down?
So also after about 10 minutes of drawing some of the basic features, you can use an eraser today. So that's very important because there are very small micro adjustments that we will feel like making, but if we don't have an eraser, then we might just not be able to make them accurately. But don't do it right from the beginning because you'd be tempted to keep erasing before you depict anything. Okay, so the reason why we want to do this upside down, or upside down is a good idea, is because normally when we see faces, we are attached to the meaning behind the face. We are quick to categorize them, to stereotype them, to give them an age, a gender, and very often I think our brain is occupied in trying to figure out who the face looks like or whether we know the person. And that takes away all objectivity. And when we are making portraits, we need to be very objective. We need to see only shapes and not if that shape makes a nose or if it makes a particular nose or belongs to a particular person. When we turn the picture upside down, because this is an unusual situation, our brain does not register these details. It sees it as a face, but it can be very generic. Apart from maybe just certain features which would be characteristic of ethnicity, you might not be able to even tell whether it's male or female, especially with black and white photographs. So the whole point is then to cancel out these specifics and focus only on line and form. And you should be able to see just a change of pixel from one region to another. Now, if you think about this image as a pixelated image and you are shown only one square or one pixel at a time, and you're asked to just match the gray because a pixel will be very tiny. How would you then match it, and then what kind of image would you create? This is something similar to that. From area to area, you just have to look at the shape that you are required to make and just make that shape. So this particular technique I stumbled upon quite accidentally when I did this years ago, and I used to make my students do this as well. I don't know if any of them will remember this, but this was in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I had no explanation for why this worked, but your results when you make the illustration right side up versus upside down will vary. It remains to be seen whether one is better than the other and which one, if at all, would be better than the other. So in the process, Amulya, don't turn the picture or the reference image up, right side up till the very end. We are all going to turn it right side up together. And then since we are making the same image, this is the first reference image, we will all be able to see how close or how far we were from the reference image. Hi, Richa.
Hello, ma'am. I'm just hearing your audio because I'm just about to reach. I'm on my way. I just wanted to know what we are doing, so I'm prepared when I reach home.
Okay,
This
okay.
looks amazing. We're doing portraits,
Yeah,
realistic portraits today.
yeah,
Yes.
we are
I'm
continuing
just
with
joining.
portraits.
Another couple.
But this one, we are going to do two things. One exercise, the first one is to draw a picture, a face upside down. So the reference images on the group you'll notice are upside down.
Yeah.
So you just need to translate shape and form into the way you see it. Then don't try to look at it as a face. Just keep it. Don't turn it right side up also out of curiosity to see whose it is. It's no one we know, so don't worry about that.
Right.
See it like that and draw it like that. And we are going to reveal our pictures to each other at the end of the class, not as yet. So if you have the time when you reach, make the illustration, at least the first one, and then we can see. The second is going to be making a high contrast image. So that we'll take on in another 5 minutes or so.
Sure.
15 minutes,
Right.
yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So with every shape you make, you will see some new detail in your illustration. So don't hesitate to change the few things that you do notice differently. Sometimes it's just that shadows will be darker or some feature that you've not really seen properly suddenly appears. Like this little fold underneath or right at the top over here. Often this is not really noticed. Now at this stage, if some of you have got blending stumps and you want to use it, feel free to use that also because it will give you better texture control. So with the stump, what happens sometimes is that some patches might get a little darker, but use your flexible eraser to then erase out a larger section. Like over here, even this has become a little darker. So I'm going to remove this part by just stamping. Even over here, this can be stamped out a little bit. Okay, shall we try the high contrast images now? Or would you like some more time with this?
Just another 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh.
the more I touch it, the worse it gets. Every time I rub, the eyes are so tough, the right one. It's like, and so I decided that they weren't right. At least one wasn't. And the more
Okay.
I fiddle, the worse it's getting.
Okay, so we'll stop now. Maybe
Just
fatigue.
not that. I mean, change what I showed you and what is done now. Because you keep correcting upside down and you can't judge what the eye is looking like, whether it looks like the other one, whether it's in focus, whether the eyeballs are looking at it. It's just so the eyes are the most difficult, I think.
True, true. But
Just
after
can't get
a
lucky.
point, you will also be fatigued. So it's good to give the eyes a rest.
Yeah, but now I know if I turn it upside down, they're going to be all over the place, those eyes.
We'll all turn it upside down. So no rush there. Enjoy how it's looking right now. But we'll start off with the next part, which is the high contrast images. Now, this is something that, again, it's just about recreating the shapes in contrast in the high contrast image. This is also a high contrast image, but it is upside down. And this one, we just have to create the shapes again. So look at the shape of the eye. Sorry, I don't know which one. I haven't shared, so you don't know which one I'm talking about. So sorry. Yeah. So in this case also, we just have to look at the different shapes that are created by the shadows. So this is another way of objectively looking at the face. So here we have almost like a V-shaped or an arrowhead shaped face in which there is some gray in interfering in that proper arrowhead shape. And then there are fuzzy edges over here. There's some fuzzy white edges over here. That's how we need to look at it. The side as well. If you make a rectangle of this nature, of this dimensions, this is how your section of the hair would be really dark, coming out into the face, and then you have only one eye which is exposed to light and a few strands of hair against it. Okay, so this again we have to draw only as shapes, and even this I'm going to ask you to first shade the central area and then move outward so that you don't get the wrong size of shape. Okay, so again, the size won't be too large on your paper. It'll just be about so much. And you can start off a little distance away from here, somewhere on the center, which is that arrowhead shape. That's the center of our picture. So I'm just making this shape. And if you want to ignore the grays, or if you end up not seeing too many of the grays, and just make everything one dark one dark shade, even that is fine. But draw it as you see it. Don't draw it as you think it. Now, as far as the eye is concerned, it's so much in shadow that you really don't see anything. So it's a little tough here, but just draw the outline over here, a little bit of the lower lid that you see, shade it a little bit gray over here, the outline of the iris, a little bit gray here, a highlight, which I have lost now. And the rest is just a shape. And a study like that can often also be done using just a black colored sketch pen. How's it going? Are you getting this? On the lips, there are two tones. Huh? There's one slightly darkish gray, and then there's a lightish gray as well. At least two tones, actually. Wait, there's three. And because this is a 3/4 profile, the lips are not spread out equally both sides. So notice these little subtle shapes here. Those are very important. The lip stays right here. So this is the fun part. You can make an outline of the shape that you have to darken eventually. For those of you who might not have these paper stumps, you can use just earbuds maybe. Don't use your finger because that finger shading means everything can start looking really ugly. Yeah, my model's nose has become really long, but I'm not going to erase it now. So this becomes our graphic. We can make even this part gray. So for this, if you've got something like that charcoal powder, I think I showed you last week. If you've got a charcoal pencil or even this our regular pencil.
Not us. You didn't show us charcoal last week.
Okay. Let me show you.
Last week you didn't show us charcoal powder. It must be another class.
Yeah. I think I showed it through the Saturday batch. So I've been working with the charcoal pencil on some book illustrations. And that pencil needs to be shaved. So I've been shaving both these pencils really close. I mean, making the tip very long. But this has, I love this charcoal powder so much. Now this will become a mix of charcoal as well as lead. So while I shave it, I didn't throw it away. I keep it over here. And you can use flat brush that I don't have right now, or just a regular brush to literally massage the charcoal into your drawing. Charcoal, lead, either will be fine. So it's like painting with dry powder, which is extremely staining. So you don't have to bother with the back and forth of the pencil. You can cover a large area with this. And then what is often done is, say in a situation like this, if you have shaded everything with this charcoal powder, you can then use the eraser as a pencil to make negative lines. So of course you will make this really, really dark. And also you can do something like this, where now this is a charcoal pencil, this will become extremely dark, and it also runs. It's doesn't sit very easily on paper. It does need some kind of medium to hold it down, but I tend to not use too much medium or not medium, what's it called? Forget. Sealant. So now I can, you get some really sharp, hard erasers also, which you can use, or you can just twist this to a nice point and then start making negative lines. Like this. As far as this illustration is concerned, here's an opportunity to also try some kind of abstraction. You can do, you can make the face right up to the jawline or the ear as you can perceive it. So maybe somewhere over here. Use a nice blending stump to blend this into a uniform dark area. I can do at least 2 or 3 more layers over here to make it more even. And then actually just scribble the rest of the area. There's probably some jacket or something that she's wearing. You can scribble that in. You can make lines like these. So this looks like a very interesting abstract and or a combination of abstract as well as realism. And these things we normally don't try. We want to make it wholly real or fully abstract. But this too can become fine art eventually. A picture like that can easily become good enough to put up on a wall just because of a very compelling line structure maybe, or just the juxtaposition of lines like these or textures like these, and suddenly going into more realistic looking illustration. You never know. So experiment with lots of these things. Okay, now comes the reveal. Shall we turn our books upside down, everyone?
Very bad upside down if I put it mine.
Yeah, okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Now we have to see the original image also upside down.
I know.
Let me open it and let me do this for
They
it.
feel very different.
Oh my God. Okay, not bad. I'm quite pleased with my result. The nose is always long. I'm terrible at noses.
Where's yours? Why? Yeah. I can see yours. Yeah. Not bad.
Not bad.
Why do we never get the eyes correctly? Gosh.
This is our image.
Yeah. That's our image.
Very nice, but not bad, Elaine. I'm quite happy. Can
Yeah,
everyone?
but you know, it's quite eye-opening to not be able to check the eyes looking at you and doing it with just
Yeah.
shapes. No, it's quite tough.
Very nice. I like Janita's also.
Yeah.
Good. So can everyone just put your pictures up? Wow, Elaine, yours is looking beautiful, that color.
Thank you. The black and white.
Black and white is looking very nice. Yeah, just put your pictures up so I can take a screenshot. Very nice. Okay. So Richa, Yeah, Richa, I would have expected. Still very abstract illustration. Could you share with me, Richa, your illustration on the group?
I'll take a picture, ma'am.
Take a picture and share it. I'll look at it fursat mein and I'll send you comments. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Amulya and Tanushree, would you like to also hold your pictures up so I can take a screenshot, please? Richa, you also hold it up. Hold it closer. Very nice. Oh, very good. Lovely. Oh, lovely. Okay. Richa, hold it slightly higher, please. Yes, good. Okay, I'm taking the shot. Don't move. Yes, okay. Thank you. Very nice. Okay, I know this can be a harrowing exercise. Very frustrating. Every time I do it, I find it very frustrating as well. But I'm sure you must have noticed. One thing I wanted to ask actually is, did you find that your result upside down was surprisingly better than you would have expected? No? Okay, Tanushree is laughing. She thinks
It was surprisingly better because I thought the eyes would be skewed and, I wouldn't get up. She wouldn't look live. What I
okay.
mean. She's got a funny face, but at least she would be a person,
Yeah,
not some, dead kind of thing. So, because the eyes were looking very strange upside down. Very. Everything else still you could recognize.
Yeah. But that's the thing. The strangeness is because you look at it as eyes. But if it were two leaves, for example, which is a similar shape, you would not really be so disturbed. It's just because we are so connected with the face. Now, things get even more complex when you have accessories. So you will have glasses or nose rings or jewelry, and then it starts becoming even more scary. But this is a good transition to move away from looking at faces as faces and then looking at them as just shapes put together in a particular order to make that person's unique face. So try this through the week.
The black and white was very. Actually, in the beginning, I thought it would be easy because it's just shapes. And then you realize how far away this is and how far, how big the black is
Yeah.
and how narrow and how long it went. So you're really looking at angles, distances, how long that line should be, because
Right.
otherwise everything changes, But luckily the eyes are straight. So you
Yeah.
can draw eyes where they look kind
Yes.
of alive.
Yes.
No, but I didn't realize how I really thought it would be easier, but it isn't. Yeah.
To me, in the upside down one, I think because I started with the mouth, so the mouth is slightly bigger than the rest of the features.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I went wrong with the nose. Surprisingly, eyes are okay. Mouth and nose didn't turn out good.
This is a perpetual thing. Sometimes things work out better. But just as a challenge to yourself, if you want to try this one more time, and if you want to just evaluate how things work, make the same face right side up. And try it again with other faces as well. Do it wrong side first and then right side up, or vice versa also is fine. Just to check how you see things, and it could be either ways. In some cases I found that the right side up images turn out better than upside down, but in most cases I found it the other way around. Even beginners find that their faces, they don't expect their upside down faces to look like faces at all. Okay, now Richa, for you, I just wanted to ask you to try sitting back. Don't hold your phone in front. Sit back, hold your book in front of you, and not flat. Because with every shift in how our eye looks down on the paper, it changes our view. So when I sit like this, stuff that is close to me, I see it more upright. But stuff that's further away from me, I start seeing it at an angle. When you see things at an angle, there's a thing called a parallax that occurs. So you don't see it as accurately. Like if I want to draw a circle, and if I draw it over here, my eye will see an oval as a circle. Then when I bring it closer and I look at it, it looks oval. So everything gets stretched in. When we are drawing it, we draw it stretched. When we are observing it, things look crunched. Okay, so best, and it happens even in so much distance. This is no more than about 8 inches, but you do, a parallax does occur because of how the angle of our eyes is. Now, if you hold it like this, even if you hold it at the same place, this entire plane, our eyes are falling on it at a perpendicular, a much angular direction. So we are able to gauge shapes and distances much better. Now this goes for everyone who is holding their phone in one hand and trying to draw. When you are doing this, you are losing mobility of your working hand, because the other hand, though you think is doing nothing and you can just casually hold the phone and draw, is actually the anchor. Once you anchor yourself, your lines move a lot smoother. This is literally like if you have one foot firmly down, the other foot you can twirl around like how they do it in ice skating. You can do all sorts of stuff. But if both hands are occupied, then you stumble, and you don't even realize it till you train your hand to be down at all times, that your lines are restricted. So what happens is when your hand is over here, your right hand or your working hand is trying to hold the paper as well as draw at the same time. So you can't do this. You can't hold the pencil far away and draw because the paper moves. So you hold the paper, make sure the paper is not moving, and then you see how your lines will just dance. So get some kind of holder, phone holder, keep it in front of you. Sit back, keep this in front of you. If you don't have a phone holder, keep your phone here, tape it maybe, or use a clip or something, and then watch your reference image here and your illustration on the right. That's also fine, as long as your hand is anchoring it. Okay? All right. So now next week is the 30th of this month. So it is it 5th?
Holiday for us.
Huh.
You said that you are going, I'm also out of station. You said that it was
Yeah.
the 5th one, so you're going to be doing your project.
Yes. So next week is going to be a holiday, and then we'll come back in June. Please try to enlist more of your friends in the classes. All my classes have dwindled now, so I'm trying to get more and more people in. And June is a good time. June and Jan are good months when people are trying to do something new. So please spread the word. And also I wanted to check with all of you, when I upload a video, do you get notification when I upload a video on YouTube? Okay, so I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the Doodle Factory channel, because then that way you'll start getting some notification either on email or something about a video having been posted. And I'm making most of the videos public, so you can watch even other batches. Okay. And also watch the kids batch. The kids batches are very, very fun. They're 1 hour long and they do some amazing art. All right. So I shall see you in 2 weeks then. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Aditi. Thank you.
Bye.